Now I'm going to talk about the process of creating effective teams. We can organize the key components of effective teams into three general categories. First are the contextual influences that makes the team effective. The second relates to the team's composition. And finally, process variables are events within the team that influences effectiveness. Now, what do I mean by team's effectiveness? In this case, the effectiveness is meant by the measure of the team's productivity, the manager's rating of the team's performance, and the aggregate measures of member satisfaction. First of all, the four contextual factors most significantly related to team performance are adequate resources, effective leadership and structure, climate of trust, performance and reward system. Adequate resources. Teams are part of a larger organization system. Every work team relies on resource outside the group to sustain it. A scarcity of resources directly reduces the ability of a team to perform its job effectively and achieve its goal. Then we have leadership and structure. Teams cannot simply function if they can't agree on who is to do what and ensure all members share the workload. Agreeing on the specifics of work and how they fit together to integrate individual skills requires leadership and structure, either from management or from the team members themselves. It's also true in self-managed teams that team members absorb many of the duties typically assumed by managers. However, a manager's job then becomes managing outside rather than inside the team. Leadership is especially important in multi-team systems, in which different teams coordinate their efforts to produce a desired outcome. Here, leaders need to empower teams by delegating responsibility to them, and they play the role of facilitator by making sure the team works together rather than against one another. Teams that establish shared leadership by effectively delegating it are more effective than teams with a traditional single leader structure. Then, climate of trust. Members of effective team must trust each other. They should also exhibit a trust in their leaders. Interpersonal trust among team members facilitates cooperation, reduces the need to monitor each other's behavior, and bonds members around the belief that others on the team won't take advantage of them. Team members are more likely to take risks and expose vulnerabilities when they believe they can trust others on the team. Then, performance and reward system. Individual performance evaluations and incentives may interfere with the development of high performance teams. So, in addition to evaluating and rewarding employees for their individual contributions, management should modify the traditional individually oriented evaluation and reward system to reflect team performance and focus on hybrid systems that recognize individual members for their exceptional contributions and reward the entire group for positive outcomes. Group-based appraisals, profit sharing, gain sharing, small group incentives, and other system modifications can reinforce team effort and commitment. Then we have the team composition category. This category includes variables that relate to how teams should be staffed. We need to think about the abilities of members, the personalities of members, allocating roles and diversity, the size of the team, and members' preference for teamwork. Firstly, abilities of members. Part of a team's performance depends on the knowledge, skills, and abilities of its individual members. Members need technical expertise, problem solving, decision making, and also good interpersonal skills. High ability teams are also more adaptable to changing situations. They can more effectively apply existing knowledge to new problems. And the ability of the team's leaders also matter. Smart team leaders help less intelligent team members when they struggle with a task. But a less intelligent leader can neutralize the effect of a high ability team. Then we also have to look at the personality of the members. The conscientiousness, the openness to experience, and agreeableness are related to the Big Five personality model. I should probably do a video on the Big Five personality model later. But for now on, keep in mind that the employees should have conscience and they should also be open to experiences and they should also be agreeable to new changes. Then allocating roles and diversity. Different teams have different needs and members should be selected to ensure all the various roles are filled. Teams with more experienced and skilled members perform better. However, the experience and skill of those in core roles who handle more of the workflow of the team and who are central to all work processes were especially vital. In other words, put your most able, experienced workers in the most central roles in a team. We also have the thing about diversity. Now I am walking towards a controversial territory. Many of us hold the optimistic view that diversity should be a good thing. Diverse teams should benefit from differing perspectives. But research have shown that diversity can often lead to lower performance. And here I am not just talking about diversity in races, I am talking about diversity in educational background, expertise, gender, nationality, the culture, everything. Of course, a proper leadership can improve the performance of a diverse team. When leaders provide an inspirational common goal for members with varying types of education and knowledge, teams can be very creative. On the other hand, when leaders don't provide such goals, diverse teams fail to take advantage of their unique skills and are actually less creative than teams with homogeneous skills. We also need to think about the size of the team. Keeping the team small is a key to improving the group's effectiveness. 4 to 5 members can be best, but we need to keep in mind that the number should not exceed 9. Now, members' preference for teamwork. Not every employee is a team player. Given the option, many employees might select themselves out of the team participation. When people who prefer to work alone are required to team up, there is a direct threat to the team's morale and to individual member satisfaction. High-performing teams are likely to be composed of people who prefer working as part of a group. Then we have team processes. In this part, we need to keep in mind about the commitment to a common purpose, the establishment of specific team goals, team efficacy, mental models, a managed level of conflict, and minimized social loafing. So, commitment to a common purpose. Effective teams begin by analyzing the team's mission, developing goals to achieve that mission, and creating strategies for achieving the goals. Teams that consistently perform better have established a clear sense of what needs to be done and how. Effective teams also show reflexivity, meaning they reflect on and adjust their master plan when necessary. A team has to have a good plan, but it also has to be willing and able to adapt them when conditions call for it. Then, specific goals. Successful teams translate their common purpose into specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time-based goals. These are, in short, called SMART goals. Then we have team efficacy. Effective teams have confidence in themselves. They believe that they can succeed. We call this team efficacy. Teams that have been successful raise their belief about future success, which in turn motivates them to work harder. The greater the abilities of team members, the more likely the team will develop confidence and the ability to deliver on that confidence. Then we have mental models. Effective teams share accurate mental models. These are organized mental representations of the key elements within a team's environment that team members share. If team members have the wrong mental models, which is particularly likely with teams under acute stress, their performance will suffer. Then we also need to think about the conflict levels. Conflict on a team is not necessarily bad. Conflict has a complex relationship with team performance. The conflict regarding the task can sometimes be helpful. On the other hand, conflict between the team members are not helpful. Lastly, minimized social loafing. Individuals can engage in social loafing and coast on the group effort because their particular contributions cannot be identified. Effective teams undermine this tendency by making members individually and jointly accountable for the team's purpose. Therefore, members should be clear on what they are individually responsible for and what they are jointly responsible for on the team. And that was the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new today.